got the right bitch. No lefty, walking my truth, don't fuck with my step king, crawl for you walk, run it, catch me, got a sharp tongue, spit. Shout out to our Mexican brothers and sisters, honey. If we got any of our Latinx in the building, shout out to y'all. Tonight we have to give a shout out to Roxana Ruiz. I'm not sure if y'all heard the story. Trigger warning. Explicit content will be discussed. Sexual activity will be discussed. Homicide will be discussed. Viewer discretion is advised. Young Mexican mom strangled a man with a t-shirt after he raped her. Has been convicted in killing the man. Roxana Ruiz has been sentenced to 6 years in prison. And this case has sparked extreme protests throughout Mexico. Roxana was found guilty of homicide with excessive use of legitimate defense, adding that hitting her attacker in the head would have been enough to defend herself. Ruiz's lawyer swiftly slammed the ruling as discriminatory, clearly, and vowed to appeal, arguing that it sets a bad precedent in a country plagued by gender-based violence. It's sending the message to women that, you know what? The law says you can defend yourself, but only to a point, said Angel Carrera, who is Roxana's attorney. Quote, he raped you, but you don't have the right to do anything, unquote. Women's rights activists also condemned the court's decision, saying it's representative of Mexico's poor record of holding accused rapists accountable. Baby, the people ain't feeling it. The people fighting for justice for Roxana. They tired. On top of her prison sentence of 6 years and 2 months, the 23-year-old single mom, yes, Roxana is 23 years old, a single mother who was raped, strangled a man with a t-shirt that was available at that time. This was not a premeditated crime. She's also been ordered to pay $16,000 in restitution to the family of the man who assaulted her. Outside the courtroom, you know, the supporters carried on, honey, and they screamed justice in Espanol. Baby, we need to band together. We need to band together. Femmes all over the world. We need to band together. They don't respect any of us anywhere. In the statement from Roxana, she says, quote, my son, I hope to see him again. I hope to stay with him, to be the one who watches him grow up, unquote. I'm going to tell y'all the story. I'm going to tell y'all Roxana's story. In May 2021, Roxana was selling French fries in her home state in Mexico. During this time, there were many gender alerts for femicides. You know, we heard about femicides during the Shanquella case. That's just the homicide of a woman. A lot of forced disappearances of women, too. You know, women tend to be used as collateral with the cartels, and we know that the cartels run Mexico, as we learned about the 4 who left and the 2 who came back. And these are all just stories from the past year. While having a beer with a friend, Roxana met a man she had seen around the neighborhood. Keep in mind, Roxana is indigenous Mexican, honey. Baby, we are colonized all over the world, I keep reminding y'all. But she was having a beer with her friend, and she had seen this man who she was familiar seeing around the neighborhood. After they had hung out, he offered to walk her home and later asked to stay the night because it was late and it was far from his house. Now, in America, this may seem more uncommon, but in America, it is safer at night on average than it would be in Mexico. You know, in a lot of parts of Mexico, a Mexican man roaming around by himself at night, you're asking for trouble. Roxana agreed to let him sleep on the mattress on the floor. But while she slept, he climbed into her bed, hit her, tore off her clothes, assaulted her. Roxana fought back. She hit him in the face. It caused a nosebleed. And then he allegedly threatened to take her life. You know, that's Roxana's story, that he threatened to take her life. She struggled with him. She grabbed a t-shirt. She used it. She strangled her attacker. She claimed she was panicked. She stuffed the man's body in a bag and dragged it out to the street. However, when she was dragging his body in the bag out to the streets, she was caught red-handed by the police. Baby, 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 this was not Roxana's lucky night. Despite telling police that she had been assaulted sexually and that she had acted in self-defense, Roxana claims that the police refused to do a rape kit on her. Anybody who's ever seen that episode of SVU knows that, honey, baby, that rape kit is necessary. Instead, an officer allegedly told Roxana that she probably wanted to have intercourse with the man at first and then changed her mind. Machismo. If you're not familiar with the term, it's common. And baby, if I'm not mistaken, it was developed in Mexican culture. Quote, I regret what I did, but if I hadn't done it, I would be dead today, unquote, Roxana. Quote, it's evident that the state wants to shut us up. Wants us to be quiet. Wants us to be submissive, wants us closed up inside, wants us dead. Unquote, Roxana. Women's rights groups have repeatedly accused Mexican attorneys of re-victimizing survivors and failing to judge cases with a gender perspective. Essentially, that same idea I told you, that machismo, that, oh, you probably wanted to interact with him but changed your mind. How dare you take the life of somebody who wanted you sexually? How dare you take the life of a man who wanted you? Roxana was released and awaiting trial, you know, thanks to protests from her people, from her home state. However, I told you that now Roxana has been convicted. She has been sentenced to 6 years and 2 months. And I very much believe personally that the Mexican government is attempting to make an example out of Roxana. That women don't have the right to refuse men.